Hey guys, how are you doing this morning? God, I hate streaming in the morning. I don't know why I do this to myself. Anyway, so as you can see, hello light one, how are you? Also, are you still positive or have you become negative? I hope that you're feeling good despite the positivity. And yeah, so today it's day 22 of the Artist reStarter challenge. Hi Peptoons, how are you? Nice to see you here. Welcome. So because it's day 22, here's what I have to do today according to my own prompts that I decided, so I only got to blame myself. I need to take some screenshots of my favorite movie and draw a study of the characters' interaction in order to study how storytelling and narrative work together by analyzing, film masterpieces and stuff. But because I was lazy, I didn't actually take a screenshot of the movie that I wanted to study, which is Pride and Prejudice, because I have already done one study of Pride and Prejudice and I really enjoyed it, so I thought, what the hell, I'm gonna do another one. But yeah, I was lazy and didn't want to, take the DVD out and actually do some screenshots, so instead I just went online and and just like downloaded some images. But I think it's okay, it's kind of the same thing. So here I have this scene, which I actually think, I'm sorry, the light is like in my eye. Okay. I think this isn't actually a scene from the movie, but it's actually like a promo picture probably. Although I do really like how each sister has a different expression, so this one might be one of the candidates. Thank you, I'm still under quarantine. I feel good and healthy. I won't make new tests. Just waiting to finish the quarantine and be free. Well, I am glad that, I'm sure it's boring to stay at home. But, at least I guess you were resting. Is that a good thing? Okay, so this is one of the candidates. Otherwise, there's this image over here, which is the very well-known image at the end of the movie. I kind of feel like I could do a study of this for the lover kind of interaction. It's a very tender moment, so maybe that one is a good one as well. Then I've got this one, which is when Elizabeth visits Mr. Darcy's home, and his home is so absurdly big that he has this huge room just full of statues, presumably stolen from other places in the world because they're British. So yeah, it's like it's a very romantic moment and aesthetically very pleasing, but also just like so imperialist in itself that is actually quite funny. And then there's this scene, which is the scene where all the sisters, like all the Bennet sisters, go and visit Elizabeth at Mr. Bingley's house because Jane has been sick, and so the mom and the sisters have kind of like went to visit, and it's a very nice scene, like the way that they've planned it, and the filmography and cinematography behind it is really good, because you have this like central split of the room, and on one side you have Elizabeth, who's the only Bennet sister to be acceptable by society standards because she's not a fool, and on the other side you have all the Bennet women who are all, for one reason or another, completely unacceptable in terms of society because they're like nosy, boorish, and like just generally like ill-educated basically. And in the middle you have Mr. Bingley's sister, who's a total bitch basically, and then the two gentlemen who are like kind of like arbiters of this scene. It's a very beautiful scene. It's very like the reasoning The reasoning behind the scene is like it's very well thought out, basically, but at the same time, it's incredible how. I guess that's just my opinion, obviously, but I feel like the fact that the two men are just sort of like they are arbitrating, the situation, like refereeing the situation, it's so paternalistic in a way. But anyway, just catching up with the chat. I held my born very quickly. It's made several translations of what pieces that I was waiting in line forever. For example, the anthology short story of Burying in the Waves from A Memory of Light, if you're aware of it. I am not aware of it. I wasn't actually. I didn't know there was a short story of Burying in the Waves. So that's good to know. I'm working, but still wanted to have a look at your stream on the second screen. Oh, thank you. I'm happy to be on your second screen. And is that Blue Momo? Which one? Oh, yeah. I guess it was probably one of the images that was in the slideshow, but I haven't seen it. Like, I didn't see which one you meant. So yeah. Oh, but yeah, it is. This one, this lady over here, is Rosamund Pike. I almost like forgot that it was her because she looks so different in Wheel of Time. But yeah, of course it is. 15 years younger, but yeah. I feel like she's such a good blonde, because obviously that's her natural color, that I almost like split the fact that she's also Moraine, because Moraine is a brunette. But yeah, that is correct. Well done, that one. Yes, well spotted. But yeah, so this is another good scene, and yeah, I mean, those are my options. And I guess I need to get started because I only got an hour to do this, to do this. So let's do it. I think I'm gonna go with this scene, mostly just because there's only got one character, and I feel like that's something that I can manage in 1 hour. So let's do it. So I'm gonna try and be quite quite loyal to the original scene in terms of proportions and stuff, but obviously a lot more cartoony. So let's see if I can manage. They've got like two bas relief over there, which again, it's kind of funny to me, because all this stuff has been probably taken from like Greece or whatever. Who cares? I wonder if the British Museum will ever give back any of the stuff that they've taken. Who knows? There is also another short story released by Brandon Sanderson about the Wild doing stuff in Shara. For my interest, it is definitely my interest. Also because, to be honest, so we are talking about Wheel of Time, in case some of you don't know what we're talking about. It's a book series by Robert Jordan and Brandon Sanderson, and you might have kind of seen some of it as it came out as a TV series on Amazon Prime, on Prime Video, early this November. So you might have encountered it. But the actual book series is so good, and it's definitely been an obsession of mine for a while now. And Light One, well, I mean, if you've seen his handle, Light1_Wheel of Time, is definitely also a fan. And there's this character called Bao the Wild, who's like, one thing that I always kind of disliked about that whole storyline is that it just comes out of nowhere, and it feels like it could be so interesting, all of the stuff going on in Shara, and it just feels like a little bit of a wasted opportunity, basically. So I'm glad that if there's some sort of short story or, you know, whatever. I would even read like a spin-off novel, to be honest. Like a full, you know, full-fledged novel. Okay. So I just kind of like blocked in the background here. There's also this bit in the middle. Oops. Okay. Next time to block in. Also just noticed my chat window on the screen. Yes! I try to pimp up my screen, my stream screen a little bit. To be honest, it's kind of hard to figure out all this stuff about Twitch in general. It's a new word for me, so slowly I am adapting, I think. But yes, I wanted to also place some more like widget and stuff like that on my stream screen, but I guess just one thing at a time is best. Also, it kind of looks like she's offering Elizabeth Bennet, like Keira Knightley's character, like a thing of Kleenex, you know, like the, you know, like tissues, like paper tissues. This thing here looks like just a bunch of tissues, basically. She's like, yeah, wipe your tears. You could have had all of this if you just accepted Mr. Darcy's marriage proposal. Instead, you didn't, and now you've got like rich people's envy. I actually find it really funny, if you remember in the movie, when they get to the house, which I can't remember the name of the mansion, but they get there with she's with her aunt and uncle, and they're like on the carriage, and they just get in sight of this huge estate, and Keira Knightley's reaction is so funny. Like, I think she is quite genuine, and she just like starts laughing, like she has a burst of laughter, and it just feels so real, because like if you had refused a marriage proposal from a man and then you went to his house and found out that he's like just disgustingly rich, and you feel like that could have been my house, that could have been mine, and you just laugh, isn't it? But yeah, I agree. The casting was very good. I really appreciated how they casted, or they casted. I can't remember if it's a regular or irregular verb. But anyway, I really appreciated at the time as well how they managed to cast both like a traditional beauty and like a slightly more interesting beauty for Lizzie and Jane, because like Rosamund Pike in this movie is definitely like a very classical like English beauty, I feel like, which is how she's described in the book, you know, that she's kind of like an English rose, and instead Keira Knightley with like her more kind of like angular features is very beautiful, but in a wilder kind of way, which I think makes a lot of sense in terms of the character and the personality of the sisters as well. Okay, so that's the sketch for this lady, and then there's Keira Knightley sort of looking here. She's got the longest neck ever. I really like how, because of the tilt of this statue, of the face of this statue, it actually looks like they are looking at each other. And that's the thing about story here that is interesting, is like how you can have a meaningful like image and situation even with a statue. So weird, like Keira Knightley has such an odd face. Because like some of her features would not be attractive on another person's face, but on her they kind of work. I also really like this dress. She tried so hard to be ugly in that movie where she was a patient of Carl Jung and Freud, if you have heard of it. No, I haven't actually. Like, I have heard of the movie, but I haven't watched it. Okay, so I'm changing the proportions slightly to make this a little bit. She made such ugly faces while being awesome in acting. So like, it's like, oh sweetie, you're trying too hard. That is heartbreaking to say, it doesn't work. Yeah, I mean, I guess even if you try hard, like, you're not gonna be able to look ugly if you're Keira Knightley, are you? I mean, to be fair, that other actress, the really, really gorgeous one, the blonde one who did Furiosa in Mad Max as well, she was like really good in that movie where she tried to be ugly. Was like I can't remember the name. The name of the movie, nor the name of the actress actually. Oh, I just had it there for a second and then I forgot again. No, I can't remember. Did you read the Pride and Prejudice book as well? Yes, I did. As a teenager, it was one of my favorite books because I was one of those girls who loved reading and loved Jane Austen. I mean, it's not like I don't like her now. I don't dislike her. It's just I guess I haven't read a Jane Austen book in a while. Have you read it? Would you like to live in that snobbish Victorian era? Well, I guess this isn't quite Victorian era yet. Sorry to be like so punctilious. This is like Regency era, but yeah. I mean, I guess I wouldn't just because as a woman it probably was kind of crap, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, if I'd been a guy, sure. I mean, as a woman at this point in time, your only choices were to be a spinster if you were rich enough to be able to support yourself, and then I guess you had quite a good life, even though you still couldn't, attend university or like pretty much do anything on your own. But I guess, if you were rich, I guess it was still okay. But if you were like a farm woman, that would have been pretty shit. I mean, it would have been shit to be a farmman, like a farmer, I guess, as well. But especially shit to be a woman, I think. Although the dresses were super nice, so... I mean, I would like to dress like this, but not live in that situation, basically. Who knows how many amazing female artists we have lost in history because they couldn't paint for a living. True. I mean, I guess they probably did paint like on their own, but again, if you were rich, I guess you could do it just as a hobby. But you know, it all depended mostly on how lucky you were to be born in a household who, you know, where your father or your brother or your uncle or, you know, whatever male authority was there would allow you, you know, to pursue your passions, basically. It wasn't something that was just a given. I mean, I guess it's true still for a lot of people around the world, and it all depends on what kind of privilege you're born into. So it's not like things aren't, you know, that way still nowadays. Are you satisfied with the month challenge so far on day 22? Yes, I am actually. I'm quite surprised that I was able to keep it going for so long. I generally think that a lot of it is due to the fact that I'm streaming them like every day. Because if I weren't streaming, I would have probably just given up a long time ago. Instead, I kind of feel the pressure because I said I would stream, and so I just end up doing it every day, which is a great thing, you know. Like I am definitely, I never got so far into any other challenge that I appointed myself. So I would definitely recommend it. If anybody wants to try and keep up with the challenge, maybe just say that you'll stream it. That's the reason I thought about streaming private projects, just to keep me working constantly. Yeah, definitely. Like, I'm thinking that when I'm done with this specific challenge, I might just keep the streaming going, you know? But maybe just not every day. Like, every day is really hardcore. It's become sort of like a routine now, but definitely I wouldn't mind having a few days a week where I'm just, you know, able to not stream and be a more relaxed. So I think maybe twice a week is a good schedule for streaming. And I mean, I could be streaming more private projects or just kind of like entertainment stuff, you know, like stuff like fan art and I don't know, just stuff that I find entertaining and relaxing. She needs to be bent a little bit more forward, like this. Okay. I am quite happy with the sketch. So I can move to just sketch in the background real quick again. Or maybe I can just do it with... I mean, I've still got half an hour, so I think I can probably try and color this. Okay. Okay, this seems like a good frame. I can ask why you moved from YouTube to Twitch. Mostly because a friend of mine who's... Oh, hello, Eros Games 14. Welcome. Yeah, I just... Oh, shit, I didn't even save. I should probably save. Okay. Practice day 22. Okay. So I switched because I thought that I would give Twitch a try, because a friend of mine who's an artist as well was working on Twitch a lot, and he told me that it was a lot better in terms of just, you know, the whole platform is built for streaming instead. I mean, obviously YouTube is more for like recorded videos, and yeah, and it was like, yeah, if you go on Twitch, it's like it's like, you know, you just go on it and you can start streaming immediately. There's less, you know, buttons to press and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. So I'm just gonna block in very quickly the background with my gouache mini brush set. So I'm trying to do kind of like an overpaint study of this scene. So I did the sketch for the characters because I wanted the characters to be a little bit more accurate, but I am going to try and paint them straight away, which is a little bit of a different workflow for me, but it's, you know, it's what I kind of set out to do in during this month, you know, to do things that aren't what I'm used to doing. So yeah. Do you notice changes so far from YouTube streaming? Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like the whole experience is a little bit better here on Twitch. Just for streaming, you know, like there's generally a lot more tools that you can use to customize your stream. You have all the, you know, alerts and new subscriber kind of thing. I'm still very new to it, so obviously my channel isn't really that active yet, but I'm thinking if I turn this into a more stable sort of thing that I do every week, I can definitely make this into, you know, a more serious kind of thing where I can have subscriptions, you know, I can have perks for viewers, stuff like that. And that's not something that you can really do on YouTube. Like YouTube, I feel like it's more for the occasional stream, and instead, if you kind of want to do it, you know, on a more regular basis, then here on Twitch is probably better. And also, one thing that I really enjoy about Twitch streaming is that you don't have a specific link that you have to give out to watch a stream. So on YouTube, when you create a stream, it already generates a unique link that you have to give out. And, you know, just in terms of me being a lazy ass bitch, I don't like the fact that every time I have to copy and paste every single link that I get, and you know, you have to distribute it all over your other social media. It's so, you know, if you have to do it once, okay, but if you have to do it every single time, it gets, you know, it adds up in terms of time that you spend, you know, working on this. So instead, the fact that on Twitch you can just give out the original URL of your profile, and that is, you know, and that is the link for your stream. You know, it's not going to change. It's always that one. Only when you finish the stream and it becomes, you know, a replay, a playback kind of video, then that's when it gets like an individual link. But otherwise, you just go on my channel, watch the stream. So it's a lot more immediate. And yeah, I mean, overall, I feel like it's just a little bit better, isn't it? When you can worry about actually doing the stream instead of having to worry about all the other details around it. So here I'm just trying to block out this bas-relief. Of course, this is gonna be very sketched. Do you watch other Twitch streamers besides just other artists? I haven't really watched too many. Mostly I'm trying to, you know, figure out the platform right now. Yeah, as I said, I'm still super new, and so I'm just trying to kind of like get my bearing. I follow like a couple of Italian streamers who do like stuff about science. You know, nerdy. And what else? I follow a few artists who I know from Instagram, and I know that they have like you know, that they usually stream as well. But yeah, I'm mostly just trying to get my bearing, really. Which can you recommend some of your favorite streamers? Whether they are artists or, you know, other things. I don't usually watch too much like gaming streaming, just because I find it So like I watch stuff when I'm working, and so it needs to be something that I can just sort of like put in the background and not really worry about. And it has to be entertaining, but not too entertaining, otherwise I end up not getting any work done. So I do realize that I have a lot of requests for my favorite like programs, which is why usually I watch TV series that I watched before. Because they kind of have that mix of being nice, and entertaining, but I've watched them before, so I don't feel like I have to, pay attention basically, because I kind of know them by heart. I don't have such. I made an account because of one Bulgarian stream which is not active anymore. Oh, and I'll need it for yours. I feel very privileged and honored that you joined to watch me. Just to give a little comfort if you feel lonely on your platform. Oh, thank you. Yeah. I mean, I guess it's normal. It's that, that whenever you move somewhere new, it's kind of like a first day of school all over again. You're not going to be you're not going to have any friends, on the platform and stuff. So, but yeah, it's nice to see a friendly face for sure. Okay, so I just blocked in the background. Very, very blocked in. Like it's literally. Okay, 2 seconds delete. I mean, there are 2 people here. That's something. True. And I mean, I even got to like 5 people at some point yesterday. I think in the morning there's less people as well. And like I've done YouTube live streams where I was literally alone. So yeah. I feel like the place where you get the most people in general, at least for me, is on Instagram, but the Instagram lives are, I don't know, they're kind of like a little bit, I don't even know how to say it. I think they're more for casual purposes, if you know what I mean. Like, I definitely get more people there because obviously I have a bigger audience on there. But it's really hard to draw just, using your phone as a, as a camera because it doesn't have a really, big screen, obviously. And also when you look at the stream and trying to read the chat is taking up so much of the screen that it's difficult to, to actually interact with people and to draw at the same time. It's and people tend to fire so many questions. I find them really confusing, I guess. It's definitely like a lot harder to keep track of what's going on. How hard is it for you to still talk in a stream where you know there is no one listening, watching? That's one of my biggest fears when thinking about streaming myself. Yeah, I mean, I guess it does feel a little bit like, you know, what's the point? But I feel like, you know, if you're not doing it for people, if you're just doing it for yourself, then it will be okay. Like, I guess for me, I kind of feel, I kind of take it as if it's one of the recorded videos that I do, you know, for YouTube or for my tutorials. So I'm kind of used to just talk to a camera when there's nobody there. So it's really not very different. I just pretend that I am recording a video. Although to be fair, it hasn't happened very often that I am literally alone. Like most of the time that there's at least like one unfortunate soul that then feels like they have to stay because otherwise they would literally leave me alone. And I guess there's like some basic human decency by which you then feel obliged to stay and just, you know, for politeness sake. Which, by the way, like, we are just voices in your head. Yeah. I mean, it's not that bad to speak to, you know, oneself, isn't it? A lot of people do it. I speak to my dog too. It's not like he can answer back. Okay. God, she's so pale. Like literally, she's one of the whitest person in the world. I used to speak to my dog all day. Yeah, there you go. There was this one time specifically where because I got my dog in China when I was living there, and I bought him at a market, and then I did all the paperwork to bring him back to Europe in the next 6 months that I was living in China. And the time where I actually had to bring him back, we were taking the plane and all, I was so stressed because I was so worried that something was going to go wrong, that some of the paperwork wasn't going to pan out, and people were going to say that I couldn't leave, or I couldn't live with the dog, or I had to leave the dog, and then it would have been obviously terrible. My dog speaks Mandarin. Well, I mean, he doesn't, because I got him when he was like a month old, so he speaks English mostly and a little bit of Italian now. So I was so stressed, and I had been awake at that point for so many hours because I took a direct flight from Beijing to Rome, and then I unboarded myself and the dog who was traveling in the cargo hold, and got him, went for it was so stressful because I was like, I didn't want to get a connecting flight, like a straight away connecting flight, because it was like, what if they forget to move the cage with the dog? So I had to actually kind of like land, take the dog. We went in Rome airport for a walk, and then do another check-in and take a plane from Rome to Turin, which is my hometown. And after like 18 hours, 20 hours, I can't even remember, like 24 hours travel, I was so like psyched and just generally out of it, basically, that I started talking to him quite loudly. And people in Rome airport that were like looking at me were literally like kind of walking, trying to avoid me and like, walking around me because I look like a crazy woman. Fair enough, I'd say. But yeah, so that was my experience. Okay, no, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna go a little bit faster now because my hour is almost up and then I have to actually go and do some real work, which is boring because I have to edit a lot of videos for my new tutorial for 21 Draw, which is, it's actually fun to do the tutorial, it's fun filming it, it's not fun to edit it. But I haven't gotten to the point where I have, enough money and like to pay someone to edit it for me. Also because, I don't want to pay them, not enough, basically. I'd hate to exploit other people's work. So if I want to pay them the right amount, I need to be able to earn a little bit more from it before I can, yeah. Editor memo was quite fun, yeah. Yeah, I keep making videos. I'm just, in the last period of my life, I haven't managed to make a YouTube video in a while, mostly because I've had this to do. This challenge has taken up a lot of my time, that's for sure. But I will be back to making videos very soon, I hope. The dead-eyed zombie. Yeah, not anymore. I'm actually gonna put even like a little light dot here, so that they're even less dead-eyed. Now the dress. Okay. Thank you. Okay, I'm just gonna add a little bit of lighting. I really love this brush from this set. It's called the Gouache Color something, but it just blends the lighting so well. I'm just gonna add some. The original Saturday is more gym buff. Yeah, true. But whatever. I don't have time to. I don't have time to, focus on the statue too much, unfortunately. because I am already kinda going over my allotted time for this, so I really need to finish up. This is really really different for me to do as a workflow. Like I usually just go so much into the sketching part, and instead of trying to do the color like without moving through the sketch first, for me it's very hard. It's a very good exercise to study light as well, though. Okay. Maybe Kira needs to have a little bit of shadow as well. I mean, I could probably do the Mr. Darcy one next time. I think they have another... no, that's a bit too much, I think. I think I have another movie study, like movie scene study to do. Okay, that's pretty much it. I mean, obviously it could be a lot more detailed, but for the amount of time that I've got, I'm pretty happy with this, I think. Thank you. I'm just adding some random bricks to the wall to add to a little bit of texture. And maybe okay, so I'm gonna add convert to smart object so that I can add a little bit of filter, box blur. That's definitely too much. Maybe like 4. Yeah. Pretty pretty love this movie. Your drawing is beautiful. Thank you. So I am just, yeah, I've just added a little bit of a filter to the background so that the characters kind of stand up a little bit more. And I'm gonna add also brightness contrast, adding the contrast a bit more to the characters so that they again kind of stand up a bit more. a little bit more saturated too. Okay, I'm pretty happy with it. I mean, for a 1 hour study, I think this looks okay. I declare it finished. Thank you for being here, and yeah, I've really enjoyed this session. It was fun. I was a little bit intimidated at the start because of the, movie scene thing, but I think, if you go forth, you can conquer your fears and all that. So tomorrow, I'm gonna be streaming in the evening, my evening. It's gonna be around 10 p.m. Central Europe time, which is, 10 p.m. wrong, basically. Not 10 p.m., 9 p.m., sorry. And I'm going to draw a scene based on the prompt, she knows, he knows. I don't know why I chose this prompt. I just made it up myself, so hopefully something nice will come out of it. Cool. So thanks again, guys, for hanging out with me, and don't forget to follow me on here so that I can reach my goal of 50 followers. And yeah, you guys have a nice day, and I hope you come back soon. Bye, guys.